Today we're going to create a level 20 character. Got some of the ideas down, but I might freestyle some of this. Freestyle, whatever you really want to call it. Create on the fly. Um, we're going to create Brutus. Basically a Barbarian Ranger. Alright, we're going to use the half-orc as our race. I had the player's handbook purchased on Roll20, so I have a little bit more extra things than you would normally have if you have a free account. But there's a lot of nice cool stuff on Roll20, you might want to check it out. But we're going to go for strength and constitution, basically, for the ability score improvements with the half-orc. Age, we don't really worry about too much. He's basically going to end up being a retired character at the end of this. So, it is what it is. Alignment, I mean, he's chaotic in nature. He does what he wants. So, yeah. He's not really good. He's not really evil. So, chaotic neutral. He's not a lunatic, though. He doesn't go around killing for the fun of it or do anything stupid. Size, normal. Actually, he's like a little bit taller than normal. So, about 6'8", 6'9". Speed, of course. He's going to be a barbarian, so he's going to have more speed than normal. Gotta have dark vision, because darkness sucks. Intimidation doesn't matter too much. Relentless endurance, this is one of the key features that I'm thinking for this race build. The horde breaker feat and stuff like that, like he gets struck down and he gets back up and he just keeps fighting. Savage attacks, also nice. The concept of this character is to hit many creatures within range. And whenever he's critting, he'll be doing a lot more damage, and he'll be able to move on to the next one. Language, of course, and yeah. The base idea for this character is his home was invaded by kobolds, and he basically tracked down the kobolds and killed them, and found out that they're being controlled by a what is it? 1 second. Got to name that race. Hobgoblin. Now, we are going to go Ranger in this build. So keep in mind that by the rules, goblins and hobgoblins are both goblinoid, but according to Sage Advice, I had to look this up. They're not exactly exclusive races. So a goblin, hobgoblin, and bugbear are all humanoids who classified under, let's see here, Outlander, Ranger. Favorite enemies, so we're going to look at favorite enemies. Alright, so we're using two humanoids. It's going to be orcs, and actually it's going to be kobolds and goblins, or hobgoblins. Because it's kobolds who basically attacked his home, and it's the hobgoblins who is controlling him. It's kind of a weird stretch, but it is what it is. That way we get two different things. Now, if you do have a nice DM, they may allow you to just select goblinoids. If we go to Don John here, they are all classified as humanoid goblinoid tags, but they are technically each their own race, according to the Sage Advice. So talk with your DM, make sure, if it was my game, I would allow goblinoids as one race. I also look at the revised Ranger that came out in 2016. They are no longer really worried about the revised Ranger, it seems like, but it's still a good fit, because you get more to it. You get actual damage to your favorite enemy over just being able to track them and gain language. So I prefer the revised Ranger over the standard book Ranger. Now, with that in mind, though, the Hunter class, or Ranger Conclave, let's see here, Hunter Conclave, which we'll be taking as our thing, may be a little bit different than it would be naturally. But we're going to kind of work on both of these. First we'll do the book Ranger, and then we'll kind of look over the revised Ranger. But I do highly recommend the Revised Ranger over the Book Ranger. Now, again, that's just a level 20. Half orc. Our background is going to be Outlander. Now, keep in mind we're going to be using the custom background options to basically cherry pick the feats and things that we want to use. Yes, so you might want to tweak a little bit things, but we will keep the feature for the Outlander to improve upon the survivability of the character. The feature, the Wanderer, not being able to really get lost. It fits the Ranger archetype pretty well. Now this is going to be a dual wielder build, because ranging or Barbarian out of range isn't very good because you don't really have a strength based range attacks. I think some of the third weapons can use ranged or strength, but I think majority of it is mainly attacks for like range. So whenever you think about this build, let me get this image real quick. That's kind of what we're going for. This is like a Skyrim build basically, but that's kind of the thematic that I'm looking for right now for this character concept. So kind of keep it on screen a little bit. Put it up there. Brutus. That's what we're going to name him, Brutus. No real reason, just, you know, brutal. Yeah. Now, for the Barbarian, we're going to go the standard totem warrior Barbarian. We've got to get our resistances. Now, in the very end of this build, you will end up with 9 levels of Barbarian and 11 levels of Ranger. Alright? Now, we're going to use both standard array and point buy. I mean, we'll just actually going to just go with point buy, but if you want to use standard array, if you're using it for like Adventure League or your DM just prefers that over it, well, you'll be able to figure out how to put it. I mean, there's not really much of a difference between the two. Anyway, let me go ahead and just show you. Kind of got notes in another page and stuff like that. Oops, yeah. Now I kind of like thought of the background. This is where the character's from. This is like an orcish mountain area. I'm not too sure what's really in the lore, but I just kind of googled Forgotten Realm orc location, and Sword Mountains came up. That also will be his favorite terrain, though, is mountains. Alright, now we're going to start up a character builder. Add character. That doesn't matter. Alright, I don't really like the way this looks. So, refresh. And dark theme looks alright, but it's the first time really trying it. Alright. Let's attributes, or yeah, edit. So we can just scroll down here. Alright, there's your standard array, there's your point buy. Alright, this is a complicated build for the most part because you need 4 good stats. You need your strength, you need your dex, you need your con, and you need wisdom. Those all need to be, at least your strength, wisdom, dex, all need to be at 13. And you need a good con because you're a barbarian and you're not really going to be, the whole purpose of this build is to not really have armor. So, yeah. Alright, let's go ahead and like just plug in the, we'll just name this Brutus point buy. Race, like I said, I do have the player's handbook bought, so I have more features available with this character creator or charactermancer, or however it's called in Roll20. So almost with half elf. Age, we'll say at the end of it, it'll be 36. We're going to go with chaotic neutral. He gets all the dark vision, the endurance, savage attack. Alright. Barbarian. We're gonna start off with Barbarian. Basically, he doesn't like gain the. Well, for one, it's easier that way to get more. Alright, I'm gonna go Perception, Survival. Alright, and that's the Rage, basically. His equipment. There's also lore and stuff in here. We're just kind of gonna go through this. Point buy. Alright. I did this earlier on this site here. Whoops, not that site there. I guess I mean tabs. Kind of got prepped before I started, so yeah. Of course, it's reset. Alright, so that doesn't help me down right now. Alright. So, strength 14, dexterity 14, constitution 15, intelligence 8, charisma 8, 12. Boom. There's your point buy. Now if you see up here, you got 16, 16, 14. This is not 13 just yet, but the first 4 levels for this character will be Barbarian. And once you hit level 4, you get the ability score improvement, and you bump that up +2. But we'll get there shortly. Alright, click next. Choose background. We're going to do custom. Actually, yeah. Let's do... Where is it at? Outlander. We'll just roll these things real quick. Cool thing about this. Alright. RNG for the win. Make sure equipment. Next. Choose your equipment. Of course, we're going to go with class equipment. It's much easier. Where's it at? Battle Axe. Or hand axe time 2. Huh? I think battle axe is the one we want to go with. But yeah. Yeah, hand axe is the one that gets around battle axes. But yeah. Next. No magic for us. There's pretty much no feats at this time. Yeah. Survival is already a thing. That's the bad thing about this, if you... Yeah, back to backgrounds. Tools. Again, language. We'll do the language here, though. We're going to go with... Where is it at? What's a good one for... It doesn't really matter. Whatever you really want to speak. Go Draconic. I'm sure there's probably a dragon near these caves. Review. We'll just apply these changes. Shouldn't really break anything. Don't thoroughly flavor the count. This is kind of like the longest part of the character creation. Kind of get things laid out for us today. Alright, there it is. Level 1. It fills out your little things over here, your armor and proficiencies here. Automatically gets your check boxes checked. Alright. Got an Outlander Trapper. So basically this character, you could say, he's Barbarian, he lived in his little tribe. It's basically be a human tribe. He had like other orcs in this world, so they do their things. Alright. So for starters, first 4 levels, Barbarian. Totem Warrior. I mean, that's basically your first 4 levels. Pretty straightforward. I mean, how you get there is up to you. I mean, my thoughts is basically he tracks down a hobgoblin, basically warlord, who is controlling the kobolds. Deals with that. I mean, that could pretty much get him to level 4 pretty quickly. I mean, with that, he kind of gains the, we'll say, wisdom of vengeance, and he seeks out, basically eradicating hobgoblins and kobolds throughout the lands. He takes up quests to go out and just kill them. So, bio. Alright, so, yeah. Can't type, that's one of my weaknesses. One of them, got many. Alright, so ASI means ability score improvement, Barbarian, level 4. Shorthands, yay. Plus 2. Wisdom. Alright, keep track of what you do and whenever you do it and how you get it. Because you never know if some ability or some DMs might do something differently. So it's always best to keep track of when you do things. It's also good to basically keep track of this stuff. I mean, Roll20, if you have this stuff, you are capable of having it imported automatically. Like, just do a little feat here. Can't spell, so that might not come up. So observance. You have something you like, you drag it, drop it. This works with the OGL sheet. I'm not too sure if it works with every other sheet, but there you go. We don't really have that feat, so don't need it. Not yet, at least. We'll probably get it later on. Alright. So our passive perception is pretty weak, but we've ding, we're at level 4 magically. So we're going to bump up this to 14. Now we can multi-class. Alright, multi-pass. Yep, multi-pass. Alright, see, this is the thing I was talking about. This is a pretty complicated build because you need 3 stats at 13. You need strength, dexterity, and wisdom. Alright, once you get that, you're good to go. You can multi-class it. You can do this in any order you want, but you have to get those 3 stats at 13 to, by the book, multi-class this character. There are other rules variation for multi-classing as well. Like, I think you might get more proficiency bonuses. Ranger, yeah. Martial weapons. But, I mean, the Barbarian already has most of that stuff, so it doesn't really matter. The good thing is, we're not using shields, but a Barbarian can use shields if need be. I mean, you can do really whatever you want with character creation, as long as your Dungeon Master approves it, of course. We'll go ahead and close this tab. Ooh, that was a close one. Yeah, we'll leave it open just so we don't mark it. Alright. Alright, so there's your basically level 4 character as in point buy. We'll go ahead and create another character. Next. This is basically the same thing, straightforward. Rolling also is pretty nice, but we didn't really roll for this character. Again, if you do manage to roll for this character, you may or may not be able to actually play it fully because of the requirements you may take later levels to actually get into the multi-classing of it. Alright. Half orc. I think we said 36. Next. Again. Barbarian to start with. Ooh, getting windy outside. Messing with the fan. This time we'll go with athletics and animal handling. Because if you recall, the last time we didn't really get the proficiencies properly due to the backgrounds. Next. Ability score method, standard array. Alright. Alright, I didn't really think of this one completely through. I think we want con 15, 14. Yeah, like I said, probably 13 decks, 8, 10, 12. You get less decks this way though, so less AC. Next, we're going to go with the Outlander again. That's where I messed up last time. Tool of proficiencies, again, since we are using the customs, whatever, for this. Okay, let's see here. Backgrounds, custom options, skills, tool proficiencies, basically. So, 2 tool proficiencies and skills. So he's getting athletic survival. So instead of getting a tool, well, I guess you get more this way. But instead of like getting a whatever, you just choose some other random thing. Just say Celestialist or Draconic again. Roll again. And again, class equipment. Battle axe. Well, let's see here. Yeah, battle axe. 2 hand axes. Next. No magic. No feats. Review. Athletics. Background gets it, so we can come back to this class. I haven't really bullied this thing out, so we'll go with perception because I guess it does give you perception. Review, no more red highlights, apply changes, another 3 hours. I'll come over here now. Alright. Let's see here. Concept again for this character though is a Barbarian Ranger. Our key features are basically going to be the ability to recklessly attack with the half-orc. The critical dice from the half-orc is also pretty nice. So, yeah, let's go to the races real quick. Outlander. Okay, alright. Barbarian. Alright, we're going 9 levels in Barbarian. So we'll be able to rage 4 times a day. And we'll have +3 to rage damage. And we're going to have a lot of attacks, so that +3 is going to come in handy. Now, keep in mind the extra attack feature, we'll be getting that twice, but you only get it once technically. Whenever you can use the greater that you get. So if you ever multi-class in fighter and you get that and get another one, you'll get the greater of the 2. So if you can attack twice with an extra attack, then you'll be able to attack twice by the ability itself, not by gaining that ability twice. Again, that's in the multi-class. Where's that? Multi-classing. Experience, proficiencies, class features, extra attack. So if you gain the extra attack class feature for more than 1 class, the feature doesn't add together. You can't make more than 2 attacks with this feature unless it says you do, as the fighter's version of extra attacks does. Basically, there you go. There's that right there. They have other little abilities as well. They do not stack. Now we will have unarmored defense only from the Barbarian, so that's good. So yeah, we need to change that too. The cool thing about Roll20 is you can customize things. AC, nope, not that one. Not that one. There, where's the AC? No, custom, Dex, plus con. So we got 15 AC. Not that great. So there's not really much to this kind of build, though. I mean, the thing about really Dungeons and Dragons role playing is getting into character. The building of the character is very fun, but playing the character, thunder, playing the character is the true soul of tabletop role playing. Getting into character, thinking as the character, um, doing things basically as a character would normally do. Now, as you can tell, let's bring this down to 12. Um, point buy basically gives you one extra AC. Alright, let's fix that real quick. Custom. So you technically starting out with one extra AC if you manage to do point buy. And then Wolfwing just resets on me. Thank you, Roll20. Character sheets. Oh, I didn't even know that you can see some of that stuff. Put that right there. Alright. So yeah, you get a little bit of advantage if you basically cherry pick your stats. Charisma's basically you're getting the charisma in place of the +1 to your dexterity. We're going to go to just ignore the array. I mean, you can figure it out how you need to if you're actually playing the Adventure League or anything that requires that. Also, alternatively, you have the 46 rolling method. It all depends on your DM, how they choose to give you the abilities scores. I'm very nice, and I allow my characters to roll pretty high. Alright, so we're going to multi-class right now. Jump to level 5. You can do that by this. Not use custom. So we're technically jumping to 5th level. Ranger 1. Alright, and that should basically Path of the Totem Warrior, Barbarian, level 4, Ranger 1. Pretty clear. Alright, thought that would be nice enough to stretch out a little bit, but it wasn't. Got neutral, half orc. Now let's get to basically, you see the character concept. We're going half orc, barbarian, ranger. Alright? Your half orc gets your traits. We want the strength, constitution, and basically everything the half orc offers you is magnificence. Dark vision comes in handy, reckless endurance, savage attacks, and basically all come in handy. Outlander kind of helps you forage for food, for survivability for your character, customize a little bit here and there. Now the Barbarian, again, 9 levels. Got your Rage, your Armor Defense, which is bumping this up a little bit. If you, oh yeah, we'll get to those shortly. But, yeah, Reckless Attack. That gives you advantage, but it also gives your opponent's advantage. Now, always Reckless Attack. I mean, you got the health pool to basically survive. At Primal Path, we're going to go Path of the Totem Warrior. Now, depending on your DM as well here, you may only be able to pick one totem. So, basically, you pick bear, you stick with bear. There are some DMs who allow you to pick bear here, and then pick another one here, and then pick another one here. Again, talk with your DM, see how they play. There are rules, and then there are home rules, or house rules, whatever you want to call it. Alright, now we're coming back to the Ranger. Now the Ranger, we're going to level 11. Now, the reason we don't go to 12, we could have went to 12, 9. Oh no, I think, yeah, Barbarian gets the other vertical critical at level 9. I think that's a tad bit better with all the reckless attacking we got. Now the attacks we're going to be making with the Ranger to basically deal more damage. Alright, now the Ranger abilities that we're going to be using the most are under the Hunter class. The Hunter subclass, or archetype, or however you want to really say it. We're going to shoot for the Colossal Slayer. By this point, you should, well, you wouldn't have it. You'd be level 5 character, but you don't have extra attack yet. But we're going to be dual wielding with this build, alright? So keep that in mind. The whole point of this build is to basically attack twice in one turn without really foregoing anything. So you're going to use your battle axe, and let's see here. Yeah, hand axe, 1d6. You want to get 2 battle axes, so you kind of want to get a second battle axe and have one in each hand, much like the picture that you see there. You want one in each hand for the most part. Armor doesn't matter because you're Barbarian. Not very strong armored, but it'll improve over time. Alright. Now, you're going to go ahead and jump levels again. We're going to go to 4 levels in Ranger. So we're technically level 8 now. 4 and 4. Still, you might want to, basically before you do that, bump up 1 level. Go straight to level 5 as a Barbarian, so you get to multi-attack. Yeah, multi-attack, whatever it's called. So, yeah. That way you can attack 3 times in 1 round. 2 with your action, and 1 with your bonus action. You're going to be using your bonus action as much as you can with your offhand. But you don't get the full benefits of that until you reach Ranger level 2. Yeah, I still don't memorize these things. There you go. Ranger. Favorite enemy, Natural Explorer, fighting style. This is where we're going to be 2-weapon fighting. Once you hit level 2 as a Ranger, you're going to pick up fighting style, 2-weapon fighting. This gives us our ability modifier to our damage with our offhand. All this time we've been attacking with our offhand, we've only been doing the 1d8s, not our plus. That's not good. That fan's going in backwards sometimes. So yeah, dual-weapon fighting. Now, by this time, we picked up another ability to score improvements. Here's where it gets tricky. Alright, we want more AC, and we're going to go with the feats. Now, I think it's dual wielder feat. Let me go check my player's handbook real quick. Our defensive dueling. Ooh, well maybe we can't do that one. Yeah, it's a dual wielder feat. Alright. Make that smaller so you can see what I'm doing over here. We're going to search dual wielder. Alright, and the only reason I have this in here once more though is I have paid for the player's handbook on Roll20, so I have access to basically everything in the player's handbook as well as the normal compendium. So your master fighter with 2 weapons gaining the following benefits. We're going to get 1 AC, and you can use 2-weapon fighting even when one-handed melee weapon you aren't light. Let me double check that as well. I forgot about that. I think the axes are at least light, so for the first few encounters you only do 1d6 plus your strength on one and just 1d6 on the other. Which, I mean, flavor is flavor. Have fun. Equipment. Finding things is never fun. weapons. Hand axe. Hand axe is light. That's good. Battle axe is just versatile. Alright. So, yeah. You're going to be using your 2 hand axes for the most part. I don't really know how to do averages. I think it's half the damage dice, basically. So, 3, 6. It's about 9 damage around. If you hit, which you should be hitting by the time it comes out. This basically gives us 1 AC, the ability to take out 2 weapons, or the ability to attack with our other weapons. Yeah. Draw and stow, 1-handed weapons with normal, able to draw and stow only 1, so that comes in handy very well since you got 2 weapons you're going to be using a lot. You might want to get this actually first before you get to +2 to wisdom. I mean, you go Barbarian for a while. I mean, like the first 9 levels, you can go pure Barbarian, you know, get the Barbarian out of the way, and then just once you hit level 10, you start focusing on your Ranger build. But, I mean, depending on where you start, you might actually get some of these things. Most DMs give you a little bit of leeway, and they start you up at higher levels. But if you're new to a game, I do highly recommend starting at level 1. Ooh, 1 second, I'll get a drink. I'm going to mute my mic because I'm going to open a drink and that'll be rude. Hopefully you didn't hear that. Alright. If anybody's watching, you got any questions, just feel free to ask. I do have the chat open. Alright. So again, to reiterate, the main purpose of this build is to build a decent multi-classing Barbarian Druid. Not Barbarian Druid. Barbarian Ranger. I can't remember my own build. With a half-orc as the core. You're going to use the Outlander as the background. Customizing it just a little bit. That way you can give it a little bit more flair because it's up to you really, however you really do it. We're going to be 9 levels in Barbarian and 11 levels in Ranger. And the will be Hunter Ranger and Path of the Totem Barbarian. Now the good thing about the Barbarian, I mean, I'm going to cherry pick these, so once you reach level 3, get the bear. Bear's always cool. Yeah, we don't really need the wolf. The eyesight is pretty nice. So you go to eyesight. Basically, we're getting this ability from the Ranger, so we don't really need that. And we do not get 10th. So we're only getting 2 of these abilities as the Barbarian, because we're not going to 10th or 14th level. So you're not really getting the great things. If you want to, you can carry more by just sticking with the bear, which isn't that bad if I do. With the Ranger, we're going to go Hunter. Colossal Slayer, check. That's your main focus, Colossal Slayer. We want to do that extra D8. So Raging, and you got your first hit, and basically, always save this for the second hit, for the most part. You're swinging with your offhand. By this point, you should, yeah. So basically, you hit with one hand, you hit with the other hand, and you're dealing an extra 1d8 damage. Pretty straightforward. And by the time you actually make it to the 3rd level Hunter, you'll have multi-attack from the Barbarian. So you'll technically be getting 3 attacks. But this does only happen once per turn. So, yeah. Once you hit level 7, I recommend Still Will, just because it's the thematic of the character that I'm going with. But being able to get out of combat at a easier pace is pretty good. And if you're fighting a single creature who has multi-attack, that's pretty good too. But I highly recommend Escape the Horde or Still Will. But Still Will is the focus of this build. Because, don't want to be afraid. Alright. Multi-attack. We're going to definitely go with Whirlwind because we're right in the thick of combat. Again, so if you're surrounded, you're on a grid. Where's that? Alright. Let's see here. Orc. Okay, we got an orc. Oop. I drifted some seas. So we got an orc. Orc. This is going to represent you, if it ever loads. Never really does. Alright, so there's you. Alright. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you ever like roll 20. Am I doing that by right clicking? No. I don't know why I swing at that then. Yeah. Alright, so you got the orc, and you can basically make all the attacks around them. So your little kobolds that you don't like, you're kind of going to be attacking them a lot. Sorry about that. Worst thing is I was right next to the mic. Ouch. Alright. Now for the ranger again, not rage. You're going to go favorite enemy. Let's go down to favorite enemy. You're going to pick the. It's going to end up being kobolds, hobgoblins, and orcs. Those will be your three, or at least for this build and my build. You're free to really do what you want, but yeah. Now keep in mind whenever you say certain DMs may be nice again. I'm going to reiterate this and allow you to just select goblinoids. Oops. Oops. I opened a new window. Alright, so we'll allow you to select goblinoid. I would, if it was my game, I'm running it, I would say goblinoid is a good choice. Boom, good to go. But also, you would have to pick goblinoid in my campaign, because if I was to ever DM a game for you, I will be allowing the variant revised ranger, which is something you might want to look at. Here's the URL down here if you want to check it out yourself. Let me actually link that. There's the revised ranger. Technically, I'm not supposed to link directly to that. It should be nice enough to link it to their page where they're talking about it. But you get the flavored enemy. Now let's see if there's anything different with the hunter, because it's technically a completely different class for the most part. At least the where is it at? Beast Conclave is a lot different than the other one. So we're going to again Colossal Slayer, hit point maximum to D8s. You'll get your extra attack at level 5. I think that's the difference. You don't normally get an extra attack at level 5 with this build. Ranger Conclave feature, so yeah, you'd get a Ranger Conclave feature instead of extra attack. Oh, we're about ready to have fun, because, yeah, spells. Ranger. Oh, too far down. Let's see here. Still again, I recommend Still Mind or Escape the Horde. Escape the Horde does come in handy. Again, it's a toss-up. Optimized build would probably be Escape the Horde. But for the fun of it, I'm going to, if I was this character, I still will. And the last but not least, the Whirlwind attacks. See, you can use your attack action to make a melee attack against any number of creatures within 5 feet of you. With separate attack each roll. But it's one attack per creature with this ability. So if you're surrounded by creatures, I mean, think Sturgis. They're flyable, so you can have, like, the 8 around you, 8 flying above you, and you can basically attack all of them. This is better than the Frenzy Barbarian, basically, completely. It's level up ability though, no exhaustion, so you can make like as many things as there is attacks. So basically, if somebody goes stupid enough to like thematically, we'll basically play this out thematically. All right, you're in the middle of the hallway, and it's your turn. You start to move, and say all these creatures had a held action, like say 100 different creatures have a held action to charge at you once they see you. All right, so they're small creatures, so they don't take up much space. So 100 creatures charge at you. It's still technically your turn. So you use your action to attack all of them. Technically, by the rules, that can happen. Well, I think the space would basically the bodies will pile up realistically, but in a game, bodies just kind of vanish, so you get to have fun. So yeah, you can basically hold the line, but you can't use this as a held action. Do not do not mistake that as a cool ability where you go, you say, all right, I'm gonna hold my action, because you're using your action to do this, and that's on your turn. The only way you can really get the cool thing is if you move and then all the creatures start to try to attack you, kind of thing. So they're using their reaction to move up and attack you, kind of thing. Yeah, held actions, they're pretty cool. And now this whole evasion thing right here, we don't really need to worry about, because Barbarian, we got danger sense. Boom. So we're getting level 2 at kind of what a ranger would get at like level 15. Danger sense, keep that in mind. You can see an attack, or see a dexterity saving throw effect. Fireball, boom, you get advantage. But you do have to see the casting, so keep that in mind. Alright. Ooh, talking. Dry mouth. But yeah. Let's go to like the end of everything. Not. Alright. So you got your reckless attack, you got your danger sense, boom, you're good to go. You got your primal path, we're going with Path of the Totem Warrior. Ability score improvements. Alright. Yeah, we need to see how many of those we got. That way we can see what feats we want and what abilities we get. Alright. Gotta count, gotta math. Oh god, math on stream. Alright, so we get 1, 2 from Barbarian. 1, 2, 2 from Ranger. So we get 4 ability score improvements. Remember that. Oh, yeah. For some reason, keeps resetting. Brutus character sheet. Alright, so we've gotten 1 so far from, yeah. We'll just copy that. Paste. 2, 3. Alright. Now this, oh yeah, we want the wisdom. You gotta get that wisdom though. That's the only thing about this build that you have to do to basically, to legally get it made. Legally, or by the rules get it made. Alright? You have to get that +2 wisdom. Because our stats, naturally, let's go back to the, we used the point buy system. So we got 15, 14, 14, 13, 8, 8. The 2 8s don't matter, alright? So these all went our core, strength, dex, and con. And this one went into our wisdom. Now, since we're multi-classing, oops, yeah, that's the spell things, we're multi-classing. Alright, we want to be a ranger and barbarian. So you have to have a strength of 13. As a ranger, you have to have a 13 dexterity and a 13 wisdom. So you need 3 stats at 13 to build this character. Alright. So, I'm not really going to basically worry about these too much. But yeah, so we want that. I don't even think I added it. I can't spell. Alright. So defensive duelist. Boom. Alright, we'll open that up again. Point by, or not point by. Oh, not defensive duelist. What was the other one? Crap, I can't remember. Getting these things fenced. Oh, dual wielder. Yeah, dual wielder. I get those two confused. Yeah, we can't use this one, sorry. Make sure you do not get that ability. You can always do long swords and other things, but thematically we're going to go with the axe. Or short swords, I should say. But we want the war axes. Or battle axe. We want 2 battle axes as soon as possible. Dual wielder. Make sure this, yeah. So we're getting +1 AC. And basically, we're able to use our weapons properly. Now let's see something real quick. Plus. Bam. Equipped. Mods. AC +2. Oh, yeah. Well, I'll show you. Or, whoops. Oh, maybe that's automatic quarter. So yeah, +4. Well, let's see here. Constitution. We're trying to cheat the system real quick. Sorry. One second. I'm going to put this in. I never remember this stuff off heart. Alright, maybe this will work, maybe this won't. This is basically me having fun right now, so run away if you can. Yay, Google. Yeah, see, I'm such a bad speller, even Google doesn't know what I'm trying to type. No, that doesn't work. Yeah, so come down here. We got a 3 gone technically, so we just put a 3. So we're at 17 now. Technically we're not at 17 because, if you recall, I cheated there. So +1. 16. So now we're at 16 now. You can do the whatchamacallit thing over here where it's automatic, or you can use the modifications where it says AC +3, which is coming from our unarmored defense. Oh, actually, maybe, hopefully, luckily. Unarmored defense. Does anybody see unarmored defense anywhere? I don't remember if it was on here or not. It used to be at one time, but I think they just changed it to the that. Use custom class, capability, magic, spells. So you get the halfling luck and all that stuff. You need to just have unarmored defense, and then you click wisdom or whatever. But no, they're not nice. But you can add it yourself right here. So anything that will basically give you a bonus to a stat, you put it right here. Let's see here. I think let's. I can't spell things, so even if they're right in front of me, wisdom. just to see if this works. I don't know if it does yet. See? Ooh, wow, that's multiplication, so. Interesting. 112. I think it's adding 100. But yeah, you can do interesting things like that. There are wikis basically to learn how to do majority of this stuff, which I do recommend looking into because I don't know everything. I barely know anything. But yeah, that right there. So we're getting our AC bonuses from our class feature and our feats, which gives us 16 AC, which isn't much. I mean, you could, but no, there's no fun in that. You could add a shield to give yourself 18 AC, but again, no fun in that. And by the time this character technically reaches level 20, you have magic items you can look into, if your DM allows them. Alright, let's go back to the bio. So, core, copy pasta. Alright. Level 4, level 8. We're getting 4 ability score improvements. So basically, how you get them doesn't really matter. Yeah, let's just keep that. Or what order you get them. But again, you need the wisdom before you can do the multi-classing. We want the dual wielder. And just for giggles, we'll just basically bump that up to 18. 16. And bump that up to 18. Alright. So, come back down. That's both +4 now. Got up to 17 now, so that's good to know. Now, feats. Feats are cool. Feats are wonderful. So, I think we can just see feats. Feats. Alright, there are lots and lots of feats. Lots. Not really lots, but if you have the book, I don't think that's going to load. Miscellaneous player handbooks feats. Yeah. Alright, again, I've bought the player handbook, so I have access to this on Roll20. You have to pay, I think it's $29.99. I got it just before it came out, so it's like $10 cheaper. But yeah, you might want to check that out if you are looking to play on Roll20. Alright. I wish they have like ways to separate these things. Tavern Brawler, any of these things we don't really need. Weapon Master you definitely don't need. Forecaster, no. Tough would be alright, but again, not needed. Savage Attacker, I don't know if that's on any. Yeah, Savage Attacker would be a decent one to have if you so inclined to get a feat. Oh, yeah. Technically, let's see here. Core. If you were so inclined to basically, at level 4, instead of getting the +2 bonus to your wisdom, you get resilient. You say wisdom. You get a +1 to wisdom, and you get proficiency in saving throws. But that's not going to give you any bonuses because we started off with 12 in there. So if you get +2, you're getting +1 wisdom, which also increases your passive perception and all that good stuff. So basically, you're not really gaining anything here except for saves, which you can gain a lot depending on your levels. Now let's just go ahead and just max this out. So 9. That way we are at level 20 when it's calculating our proficiency bonus. So we're at level 20 now. Our proficiency bonus is now 6, so you'll be getting 6 to all your things. Now you see log of negatives here because you don't have the charisma, you don't have the intelligence, and a lot of skill-based things in D&D are these 3 right here. Your most important save really is kind of your dexterity and your wisdom, I think. Everything else is good. Con comes in handy a lot too, though, depending on if you have a lot of poisons. But I digress, or whatever that word is that says I linger. Alright. So yeah. Half-orc, Outlander, Barbarian. Oh yeah, we're gonna have that there. Barbarian, Ranger. That's the key concept of this thing. Alright? The whole concept of this creature is, or creation is those things. You're wanting to basically get to the Ranger, get to the Hunter, and getting the whirlwind attack, which is at your level ability. And basically rage and attack. This is a melee build to the extreme. If you're rolling for hit dice, you're going to have some pretty good HP on the D12. Unless you roll low, if you're getting the average, you can be really nice off. So say 8 levels at the average. Let's go to the book real quick. Because I can't remember what they get on average by themselves. So yeah, you're getting 7 plus your con modifier every level as a barbarian. And you go think about roll 20. 7 times 8, not 9, 8. So just from like the average alone, you get about 56 HP from the barbarian. That's just on the rolls, I think. Yeah. That's not even including your con bonus. So yeah, HP galore. So yeah, it's kind of an interesting build. It's not really focused. I mean, it is focused, but it's not optimized to the extreme. It's a fun build. Again, I recommend, not that button, the Ranger variant. Let's just basically look at the difference. Alright, real quick. Down here. Alright, and don't forget, this is kind of the only main reason that I'm going with the variant, is because if you're the stickler who's going by the rules, if you choose the humanoid favorite enemy by the book, you don't get to choose goblinoid, which I would allow. You have to choose goblin, hobgoblin, or bugbear. Yeah, bugbear, that's the one. You have to choose one of those individually. You can't choose goblinoid. And again, I did that. I think I go back. Close. Yeah, I forget whenever I click these things that goes to the site. But yeah, you have to choose individually. If the DM is not allowing you to use the variant or the revised Ranger, then go Hobgoblin for the story. The story of this character is home was basically invaded by kobolds. Tracked down the kobolds, led to the cave. Cave turns up a letter about what is it called? Hobgoblin, Hobgoblin leader who basically orchestrated the whole thing. And yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, Hobgoblin. You can do really however you want to flavor your backstory to fit what you need. I mean, that's the cool thing about Dungeons and Dragons. You flavor things to your taste. But again, this build is for destruction of the cool little things. Alright, let's say we're at our max level. Yeah. So you're getting the rages. That's the plus 4 rages, plus 3 damage. So for every time you hit, you get an extra 3 damage whenever you rage. And you're also resistant to basically everything except psychic by this point. So yeah. I'm kind of starting to repeat myself here, so. But I'm trying to ingrain basically the concept of this thing in my own mind and to whoever is watching. But yeah, we're gonna go bear, definitely, and then pretty much eagle to get the eyesight. That way you can see those little red creatures or whatever color those scales are. Alright. But yeah, alright, so what we're doing. Favorite enemy. Beginning at level 1, you So yeah, here's your favorite enemy. I will read it. I'm not very good at public speaking, but we gotta get better at this, right? Beginning at level 1, you have significant experience studying and tracking, hunting, and even talking to a certain type of creature. You have advantage on survival checks to track your favorite enemies, and well as intelligence checks to recall information about them. When you gain this feature, you also learn one language of your choice that is spoken by your favorite enemy, if they speak one at all. You choose one additional favorite enemy as well as a associated language at 6th and 14th level. As you gain levels you choose should reflect the monsters you have encountered on your adventures. Yeah, we're kind of annoying that last sentence though, because we're having fun with our experience beforehand. Now, revive. They're here. You still basically get to choose, but this time you get to choose beast, fae, humanoid, monsters are dead. So, humanoids. That's all humanoids. So that'd be including your bugbear, orcs, all of them. Every single humanoid there is, which is nice. And you're also getting another additional +2 damage to those creatures, because, I mean, no real game is going to be centralized around a certain creature. So whenever you do encounter them, having that extra damage is nice, instead of going out of your way just to hunt them down, which still go around your way just to track them and deal with them as needed. Red beers, sorry about that. Felt the weather, which is good. And the thunder rolls. Don't even know if you can hear that or not. Again, you gain the languages. And basically, yeah. And the thing about this one also is a natural explorer is better as well. Basically, you master navigating the natural world, so every terrain, alright? Whereas, multi-class, hunter, ranger, natural explorer. Basically, you choose one type here, but up in this one, you don't have to choose. You just basically get it in everything. So you're kind of getting a lot stronger with this one. So, yeah. As a DM, I would prefer this one over the other one, the book. So, yeah. You still get your fighting style. Again, we went with 2-webbing fighting for this build. Spell casting. Oh, yeah, we didn't even do spells. Yeah. Let's go see what the druid gets real quick. I think I have dodge up with them, so yeah. This is kind of the whole goblinoid thing. As a DM, I would allow you to choose goblinoids again, but spell sheets, donjon, good site. To anyone who might be watching, donjon monsters, or however it looks, there's a lot of good tools there. Monster list, not monster list, spells. Alright, good class, ranger. Boom, got your ranger spells. I think we can get up to 3rd. So yeah. Hunter's Mark. That's always a good go-to. But don't forget, barbarians cannot concentrate and get spells. So let's go look at rage real quick. Yeah, kind of like assuming people who are watching this know some of the basic rules. So I'm kind of skipping a lot of the basics, over-explaining in certain areas, but yeah, I keep forgetting where I am, sorry. Barbarian, rage. If you are able to cast spells, you can't cast them or concentrate on them while raging. So keep that in mind. Your hex, not hex, I get that confused, but your hunter's mark and your rage will not stack. Alright? So choose your spells wisely. Yeah, donjon. Yeah. As the best go-to spell, in my opinion, is Goodberry. Alright? Now you're a self-healing tank now, basically, as well. Cure wounds. Combat stops. You can heal yourself. You don't have to rely on a cleric. Alright? How many spells do we get as a ranger at 11th level? Alright, so 11th. Ooh, so we know 7 spells. Alright, so yeah. Since we have majority of the access to this spells, Cure Wounds, check. Good Berry, check. Again, certain spells may pop up over here that you will not be able to see because I have access, like, let's see here. Thorn Whip. If you were to search Thorn Whip, you wouldn't be able to find it because it's not an SRD thing, and the majority of the stuff is SRD. But I did buy the player's handbook, so I have access to more items. And once more, I recommend it if you do play Roll20 and you DM. Where are we at? Spells. 7 spells. Yeah. I kind of got another tab open to the spells. Oh yeah, Don John. That's the one. Distractions. Yay. Alright. Concentration. No. Get rid of those. Because they do not help us out. At all. Animal Friendship. Alright. Speaking of which. Animal Friendship. I say early on you get this spell. Just because the concept in my mind is that this half-orc has a pet dog, basically, named Scourge, as well. I give him a pet. Again, he's retired currently, so he got it just before retirement and stuff like that, but yeah. He does have a pet dog named Scourge. So, Animal Friendship. I believe, let's see here. Ranger. Spellcasting. Sorry if I'm scrolling too fast and you're trying to read things. Spells known at first level and higher. Additionally, whenever you get one, you can choose one of your ranger spells that you know and replace it with another one. So you get the dog thingy, or the animal friendship. You befriend a dog, and then nice DMs will basically let you keep the dog, or let you buy a dog, stuff like that. But Scourge, remember that name for a doggy. Got a doggo named Scourge. Back to Don John. Alright. So, Cure Wound, Good Berry. Good Berry, again, you don't have to worry about food. Don't forget, though, Good Berry, I don't know if it, yeah. Certain DMs may or may not allow this word. Nourishment sustain a creature. Alright? Nourishment. Yeah. Nourishment does not equal water. Alright? Again, there's a thingy-mabobber somewhere about saying that same exact thing. Nourishment does not give you water. So you still technically have to find and get water on your own. Okay. Don't need dark vision. Vine scraps can come in handy. They got healing wired correct. I guess they don't. Snare. Absorb. Cure wounds. Don't get anything that also takes the reaction you don't really want. Because if you're in the middle of combat and raging, you don't really get it. Plus, absorb elements. I think it only gives you resistance to elemental types that you already have. Speak with Animals is pretty cool. It kind of fits the whole thematic of you don't need the arrows things, so find traps. Less the restoration, yes. I don't think it's like in the book. Yeah, that is. Alright, so less the restoration. Boom. So yeah, we can cast up the. Oops. Yeah. Alrighty, where are we at? Don John. Yeah, I easily get distracted, so there's that. Okay, so non-detection is pretty good. Plant growth. I mean, from here on out, well, you can't really get 4th and 5th level spells. I think we can only go to 3rd. Ranger. Level 11. Yeah, 3rd level. But yeah, again, snare would probably be pretty fun. But that's it. It's the artist guide. Don't have access to show you right now. I mean, you can see non-SRD. Yeah, Animal Messenger would be pretty fun. It's a ritual, but I don't think bards get rituals. So, not bards, rangers. So it still counts as a slot, but you send messages. Yeah. We'll get locate animal or plant. You need water, right? And if you know your land pretty well, then you know what ones grow closer to water sources, so you use that. Let's read it real quick. Describe name a specific kind of beast or plant. Yeah. So describe one that grows within 5 feet of water. That's a description, isn't it? Creature closest with a fresh body of water. So, I mean, as a DM, I would allow. So if you're looking for your water source, you're lost right there. Plant. Alright. May or may not be back online. Alright, looks like we're live. Testing, 1, 2. Can anybody hear me? No, we were just chatting before, so. Yeah, chat, if you're there. Thoughts so far, if you've been watching? Before my power goes back out again? Lightning. Probably should just turn off my computer, but. Yeah. Alright. I noticed that I was showing you stuff and you couldn't see half of it, probably. Like the character sheets. Should be able to see better now. I think. Alright. Back to the character sheet thingy. Yeah, half the stuff I showed you, it looks like you probably didn't see. Because I had the big image in the way. Alright, so we were at magic. So class, ranger, concentration. Let's see if there's any good out of combat concentration spells we could probably use. No, no, we don't need any concentration. Don't know if we got to put less restoration in there. Yep, I don't know if we got less restoration. Locate. Oh yeah, we're talking about the animal and plants, how you can find water by describing locating the animal and plants. Okay, let's see here. More spells. Back to dungeon. Let's go ahead and go to find traps. How long is that on last dark vision? 8 hours. Touch. Okay. So yeah. Find traps. Boom. Now we're going to go ahead, since we got 7 spells to learn, get dark vision. Dark. Dark vision spell. Now you're wondering, we're an orc. Why do we want dark vision? We don't have access to light spell. Alright? I mean, more than likely you're going to have a creature who can basically see in the dark as your teammate. But, think about this. You got your pet doggo. Alright? You got a pet doggy. And he's in the middle of combat with you. Alright, let's see here. I can't spell mastiff. There. Mastiff. Alright? So, you're a ranger, basically. This is also good to keep in mind if you ever take the Beast Conclave, or the Beast, whatever, and you're going to get into dark places. It lasts for 8 hours, and it could affect your pet, basically. They do not have dark vision. They do now. See how it works? Or you could have a companion in your group who does not have dark vision, and then you give them dark vision. It costs you a spell, but you are a barbarian, so your spells don't really matter as much. So you can sacrifice one of your level 2 slots. We do have plenty of them. We got 3 level 2 slots by the end of this thing. But let's say, yeah, we're level 11, so you got level 11 barbarian, not level 11 ranger, so yeah. Darkness, and you got your doggo, your pet. So cute. So yeah, you get to play around with him and give him dark vision. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We get one more spell. And don't forget, all these can be cast at higher levels. Or really, not all of them, but Cure Wounds, boom. All level 3s. So your level 3s will technically not be going to waste, since you can Cure Wounds at a level 3 spell. Back to Donjon. Alright. Anybody want to give me a suggestion for the last spell from here? Don't forget, level 3. Ooh, Water Walk would be funny. Water breathing as well, but yeah. Any suggestions? Jump, Long Strider. What's Long Strider again? Yeah. So far we got Cure Wounds, Good Berry. We technically took the Animal Friendship, but we changed it later on technically. Speak with Animals. Oh, let's go speak with Animals. Screw it. How long does it last? I think it only lasts like 10 minutes. So yeah, no, not really worth it. It'd be cute to talk to your dog though. Definitely want less restoration. Yeah. Cure the poisons and inflictions. That may or may not happen. We're not using any ranged attacks, so daylight doesn't really do daylight, and we're rangers, so we like the stealth, non-detection. Yeah, we'll go non-detection. And it's one of our 3rd level spells. I'm thinking we're looking pretty good. Let's roll for a little character real quick. Hey, strength, dex. Well, it's not bad. Actually, that's him right now, isn't it? Well, switch to int wisdom. That's in chat, so half you probably may or may not even notice it. Alright. So, back to the bio. At our first ability to score improvement, we need a +2. That's because our core stats did not, I had never even added it. So that gives us 14. We use the point buy. We got 15, 14, 14, 12, 8, 8. 15 went in con, 14 went in dex and strength, 12 went in wisdom, 8 went in intelligence, 8 went in charisma. At our first ability score improvement, we bump up our wisdom to 14. And again, you can use resilience. Feats by name. Feats player handbook. They need to basically fix that thing. Resilience. Again, I basically paid for this stuff, so yeah, that's why it's there. Again, no, not skilled. Feats. Resilient. So at level 4, you can also basically bump that up to a 13 to meet the requirements that you need to multi-class, and then you'll get a plus to your wisdom saves, which is actually decent, but not needed, because you're getting a +1 basically regardless, and you're also getting +1 to other things. But it's up to you to really decide if you chose that or not. At our next ability score improvement, we will basically get +2 strength and con. Our last one will get a +2 con. Alright. Now, if you're seeking out magical items, uh, one that you could kind of get away with, but it defeats the purpose of this character. But speed, let's see if it's in here. Scimitar speed. This kind of does what the build is doing, but it gives you access to a shield, which will give you a total of 19 AC. But my goal would be getting battle axes. However, whatever kind of battle axes you can get magically would be nice. If you have a very nice DM, Belt of Giant Strength would be good for you, getting that strength up. If basically you have a super nice DM, you can kind of finagle this build a lot. If you're starting off with magical items and you're getting a one that you can choose, let's see here. Get your con to 13 basically. Put con as 13 because technically as a DM, I would not allow you to use a magical item to give you the ability to multi-class. Because if you lose it or anything like that, then you technically lose your multi-classing and stuff like that. But if you're starting off with a magical item and it's rare, so basically you're getting a rare one. Modifiers Constitution 19. Boom. There you go. You don't have to increase your Constitution at all. You can get more stats. So depending on like the type of game you're playing, this one helps you out a lot because you can set con up there. But again, I would get that to 13 and then basically pick this as my magical item. You're still getting a lot of health, and you got the resistances from Barbarian. So having a low health to start with and pushing towards the amulet of health as your first magical item would be a way to yeah. So if I was to basically, again, I'm going to cherry pick magical items, which a DM may not allow. Amulet of Health, 19 con, so you can rearrange those before your character selection to pick out better. Alright, what was another one? This one may not be in here. Yeah, Cloak of Displacement. This right here is the Barbarian's best friend. Again, rare, so you may or may not be able to achieve it as quickly as possible. Why is this the Barbarian's best friend? Whenever you recklessly attack, you basically do not suffer disadvantage. Or they do not suffer advantage, or gain advantage, or however, yeah, let's look at the recklessly attacking. Barbarian. Yeah, reckless starting at second level when you throw aside caution, which is concerned for defense. So yeah, you're basically neglecting this ability against your opponents. You're still getting your benefits, but you do not gain or have a negative towards it. So Cloak of Displacement, that would be my second choice of magical items. Again, this is level 20 character build, so you have access to basically just about anything you could possibly imagine once you reach that level. So yeah, let's go back to the battle axes. Oh, will be nice, +2 of each. Days do not require achievements, which is nice, so we get one more slot. And I'm not really going to go with the Belt of Giant Strength or anything like that. Again, as well, if you want to min-max this build and you're getting Ogre. Gauntlets of Ogre Power. Basically do the same thing as Constitution modifier, but it's for Strength. So again, you can get your con to 13, and then get these, and you don't have to worry about get this as your one magical item. And this is only uncommon. So yeah, I mean this right here, it would be like the key item to start off with in a high fantasy world where you get one magical item usually to start off with, uncommon at that. You bump this up to 13, and then bam, you get that. It's at 19. Just keep track of your originals, because if something ever drains your strength, like a shadow, yeah, let's see shadow. Sorry, I'm kind of jumping around from things. So yeah, strength drain basically. Um, this would be an interesting rules to really dissect in whatever thing. But yeah, uh, yeah. So you lose strength with this character, but technically, no matter how much strength you lose, you'd basically have 19. But technically, in my thing, you'd probably have to kind of retire once you 113 because you couldn't multi-class kind of thing. Again, the rules for multi-classing right there. Barbarian strength 19, Ranger 13, 13. You need that to multi-class. Anybody have any recommendations for the third attunement slot? Ideals. Alright. Magic items. There are a lot of them, basically. Yeah, let's see here. Alright. So, yeah, there's no list. Let me open my DMG real quick. Alright. Treasure, magic items. And there's a lot of. The third one's basically up to you, basically. I'll leave it like that. But I do recommend the Cloak of Displacement and the Amulet of Health. You don't really need the Amulet of Health, though, honestly. So you can take that one off. That's another kind of just. But the Cloak of Displacement, go for that key. But if a DM is allowing you to get magic items from the start, I would go for the Gauntlets or the Health. Health thing, that way you have your health. But Strength, being able to hit is always good, too. Because, I mean, the health, don't forget, as a Barbarian, it's con is you're part of your AC if you're not wearing armor. But yeah. Trying to think of a decent mind blank. Oh, yeah, Donjon. Magic items. Always forgot about that. Rarity. Yeah. All these are magical items. Length of Revealing's pretty good. Don't need Pearl Power. Preferable of Health. Yeah. So yeah, Ion Stones are pretty decent as well. Iron Bands are pretty good. Feathers are pretty decent. If you're a druid, always hit this tree. Well, especially when you get 6 level spells. Absorption. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot you can do, basically, with this kind of build. I'm going to go for one more recap, then I'll probably end it. Alright. So, the recap of this build is a half orc with the key abilities of a lot, strength and constitution, which are focused for the barbarian aspect of this build. Dark vision comes in handy, but it's technically not necessary. Relentless endurance comes in handy whenever you're fighting. Now, relentless endurance, if you fall and then it's your go and you are back at 1, then I'll come back to that later. Savage attack is kind of a key because you're making a lot of attacks with this build. Alright, and then the Outlander doesn't really come into effect here. Your rage is where you're getting a lot of your damage. Well, not really a lot. Rage doesn't really do too much damage, unfortunately. But you're getting plus damage, and the thing where rage comes in handy is the resistances. And you get your unarmed defense. You got your reckless attack whenever you reach level 2. Your danger sense. Yeah. And if you can manage to get the Cloak of Displacement, that negates the this right here. Where is it at? Yeah, right there. That would be negated by the cloak of displacements because advantage and disadvantage cancel each other out. So even if they do manage to get disadvantage from another source, they still don't get it. They don't stack or anything like that. Got your danger sense, dexterity saving throws, advantage on ability checks you can see. Primal Path, we're going Path of Berserker. Not Path of Berserker, that'd be the dumbest thing in the world. Path of Totem Warrior. We can move 40 feet. We get advantage on initiative. And lastly, we get an additional critical dice. So we're getting one from Barbarian and one from Orc. So if we crit, we're basically rolling 3d8s. Path of the Totem Warrior, we're going to go with the bear there, and then the eagle there. Unless your DM basically doesn't allow you to pick and choose. For Ranger, core rulebook, we're going to go favored rules, favored enemies. We're getting the first two. We're getting a kobold and can't think of the third one. The second one, bugbear or a hobgoblin or yeah, I think it's bugbear. Let me check my notes. No, I don't have my notes open. But yeah, it's a goblinoid basically, but you can't usually choose goblinoids depending on your DM's ruling. You may or not be able to. Again, I will rule that you be able to choose, but this is kind of one of the designers. But yeah, go back to Don John, monster list, goblinoid. This is the reason why hobgoblin and bugbear. It's the hobgoblin that you'd have to choose if you're playing by the book. And then your second one would be kobold, whenever you first choose it, and then your last one would be orc. And for my character, this character's build. But if you're choosing the let's keep track of the core book first. Hunter, Ranger. Alright, so we've got favorite enemies, Natural Explorer. We're going to go with mountains for this one. Fighting style, 2-weapon fighting. Spellcasting. Our spells will basically be the ability to heal herself, the ability to feed herself, and the ability to get rid of status effects. And again, this right here, whoops, should show you what it does. Describe a name or specific kind of beast or plant. So we're going to describe a plant that's near water, fresh water, within 5 miles. Boom, you got your water. Roleplay wise. Dark vision, now, again, dark vision. Dark vision is basically for your pets or your companions who don't have dark vision. So you can cast a spell on them for 8 hours, they get dark vision. So basically one adventuring day, you give your companions dark vision, which comes in handy if they don't have it. You don't have to have a light source to see, so it, again, comes in handy. The feats we got, what was it again? Not defensive dual wielder, yeah. For one of our ability score improvements, we're going to go with the dual wielder, which is giving us a +1 to AC, and the ability to draw and store, and add our, not really add. Yeah, true. Use one-handed weapons that aren't light. So this gives us the ability to use our axes as we see fit. Alright. Where are we at? Ranger. Alright, so there's spellcasting. Yeah, spellcasting ability. Ranger archetype, we're going with the Hunter. Now we still get the, regardless, we get the primal awareness. So we get to locate creatures like this for 6 miles. So if we want to go hunt undead and fiends just for the fun of it, we can. We get another ability and score improvement, which can be found. Yeah, so many tabs. Close some of these things. Doggo, sorry Doggo, you gotta go. right here. So we get +2 wisdom, bewilder, +2 strength, +2 con, any roll ability. But before you can multi-class, you're going to need to get all your multi-class stats to 13. There's stats. Multi-classing, yeah, one last time, 13, and 13, yeah, it's going to be those, that one, and then that one. You already basically probably by this time had your extra attack from your whatchamacallit, so you don't get it again. You got your land stride, you got your hide in plain sight. That's the last ability you're getting from your ranger because you don't go there. And with the hunter subclass, we're going to go with Colossal Slayer. Now, this is the one where I was talking about the you drop to 1 would come in handy. This one will come in handy, but for this build we're going with the Still Will. And for our whirlwind attack for our final ability for this. That kind of gives you what your character needs. This is not a one-on-one build. This is a one-on-multiple threats. Little threats though, so like your kobolds and your orcs. So yeah, you'll hold his arm, so it works. Go ahead and close that one. Close out some of these unneeded tabs. Alright, now if you do manage to get a nice DM to allow you to get this ability, then you're even better, because you're getting damage to your favorite enemies, you're getting all your favorite enemies, and then some, because you're getting all humanoids, and then you get stronger, or let's see here, greater favorite enemy, primal awareness, got your primal awareness, and this I think affects your favorite enemy and not just the communicate with beasts and gesture communicable. Yeah. Well, you got that ability right there. I haven't really read into it too much on this one. Got your Ranger Conclave. Animal. We don't get the Animal Companion, that's not us. Hide in plain sight still. It looks like you do get something different at level 8. Oh. Yeah, Graver favorite enemy. Here it is. At level 6, hunt down and deliver game. So you get to choose one of these. Do whatever you want there. Probably Giants would probably be a good one for this build if you're going with this one. So yeah. And for again the Conclave for this one is just right down here. Golden Hunter, same old here though, no real difference. Again, you don't get that stuff. But yeah, pretty much it. I think it'll be a fun build, fun play. I'd like to actually start from level 1 to see how far I can get this build. No games at this moment. If anybody's interested in playing a game, let me know. I'm thinking about running a new game for new players. You can message me if you see this in a VOD. If you see it, I might load it up to YouTube, and you can message me in the comments and stuff like that. But thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream. Have a good day. Bye.